Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Felix, and as you can see, I love cameras and all things photography. And in this very first video, I'll answer some questions you might have, and we'll talk about, well, some cameras obviously, and the future plans for this channel. We've got a lot to cover, so let's not waste time and roll the intro. Okay, let's begin with the most basic question. Why did I even create this channel? To answer this, we'll have to talk a bit about myself. I love photography and everything around it. Unfortunately, I'm not really good at taking good photos. Most of my photos just lack something, even when they are technically in focus and well exposed. I can't describe it. They just lack something. I came to this realization towards the end of last year, where I reviewed my photos. I checked my Lightroom library out, and when I reviewed the photos I took last year, and I hadn't really a lot of photos where I thought, wow, that's an amazing photo. Meanwhile, I also got more and more interested in filmmaking and came to the realization, why not learn something new in the form of filmmaking while improving my passion and maybe even teach others some things I might be good at or not. So the question of why is it photography related, we've kind of answered already, but I'll go a bit more into detail here. I got really into photography back in 2010. I photographed a lot of nature, animals when I went on hikes and day trips. I shot all digital back then and I loved it. This one here was my first more or less serious digital camera, a Canon EOS 5D Mark II. Unfortunately, life happened. I sold most of my gear. Luckily not this one. I kept it with a 50mm and a 90mm Tamron lens, and just worked and moved on, and photography got kind of pushed aside. In 2020 I found an old Minolta SRT on a flea market for a couple of euros. I thought, oh well, that camera looks kinda nice. Bought it for 5 euros. The next day I bought some drugstore film, went on a walk and shot the whole roll in one go. And well, even before getting the film developed, I realized photography had me again. I had so much fun. This 50-year-old tank of a camera reignited my passion, I'd say. And that's why the SRTs, I've got quite a lot of them, have a special place in my heart. Amazing cameras. Yeah, so from the SRTs, I went down a deep rabbit hole of different systems and formats and all things analog photography. But we'll talk about cameras later, no worries. So yeah, photography is not my day job, but my passion. And I want to share that passion, both digital, that I'm still shooting, and analog. Why now? Is this yet another New Year's resolution? And after a few videos, he just gives up and that's it? Well, I stated earlier, I think my photography kinda sucks. The technical aspect got better and better, but the composition, the colors, I don't know. My pictures just lack something. I'll show you some. So I was standing still. I tried to emulate styles. I watched a ton of YouTube videos, tutorials, and I learned a lot. As I said, technical aspect was never really a problem, but I didn't really get better at taking good pictures, or at least in my opinion. So I realized I need to actually go out and practice photography to maybe get better. I know, crazy concept. And in the meantime, I got more and more interested in filmmaking. I started just filming for myself on my iPhone and then on my digital cameras, both the X-T20 I'm recording on and my EOS. And well, yeah, why not take videos of the stuff I love and try and get better at photography while also learning something new. So yeah, it's kind of a New Year's resolution, but now that I made a video about it, I definitely won't quit after a few videos. Would be way too embarrassing. That means I have to continue to create videos. That brings me to our last question. What's next for this channel? Let's talk a bit about cameras and the history of cameras with me. I've shot pictures before 2010. We've always had cameras in our family, and my mom had one of the first Ricoh digital cameras with a 2 megapixel sensor, I think. I'll add it in here. We've always had cameras and I've always taken pictures, but with my very first paycheck back in 2010, I've decided I love photography. I want to really get into it, and I've bought this 5D Mark II used. I think it was, back then it was already 2 years on the market or something. Still paid a ton of money with a 50mm 0.8, and I bought a Tamron 90mm lens for it. And still to this day, this is by far my favorite digital camera. I don't know why, I just love the DSLRs. The hybrids, well, I've got the X-T20 up here who films the video. I can work with them, but seriously, the DSLRs are they just have something. These old Canon digital cameras, I just love them. And as long as they continue to work, I'll shoot with them. I jumped to 2020, got into the SRTs, and tumbled down the rabbit hole of film photography. From the SRTs, I've got into rangefinders. My very first being a Olympus 35 RC that I really regret selling. This was an amazing camera. The lens was sharp as hell. It was a tiny camera. It had everything. It was really one of the most amazing tiny fixed lens rangefinders I've ever had in my hands. From the rangefinders I went to medium format. I've bought a Louisville 166, which got me into medium format that I've fortunately sold because it wasn't a really good camera, even though it produced pretty cool pictures. From medium format I've got into developing film, then started scanning, DSLR scanning with first I started with the XT, and then I went back to the 5D because I just felt the pictures looked better with the 90mm Tamron. From scanning, got more and more cameras from friends, from family. I started fixing broken cameras I've got from friends and got into bulk rolling. And lastly, I've got into large format, the Graflex ground graphic. It's a crown graphic, so it doesn't have a focal plane shutter. I've disassembled it completely and cleaned it, and well, left the rangefinder and the viewfinder and all the other unnecessary stuff off. So my main cameras at the moment are, for 35mm SLR, my Pentax LX version 1 with a 50mm 1.4. Then for digital work, my EOS 5D. I'm shooting it with either Olympus OM lenses or 50mm 1.8 Canon or my Tamron 90mm if I want to take portraits or just want to shoot a tele. rangefinders. I've got quite a lot of rangefinders. Well, quite a lot. It's a bit an overstatement. I've got a few rangefinders, but this one is my forever rangefinder. Leica M2. On M mount, I've got the 90mm and I've got the 50mm Elma here. And I've got an LTM to M adapter, and I'm shooting a 50mm Canon 1.8 LTM lens too. This camera is just, I love it. For medium format, I'm at the moment mainly shooting this one here, Mamiya RB67. I've only got one lens for it, the 90mm 3.8. This camera produces amazing pictures, and I just love that it's completely mechanical. You can just take it completely apart, clean it, and it will probably work forever. There's so much to the cameras. I'm mainly shooting, I'm always saying, yeah, I'm mainly shooting this camera or that camera, but it changes daily basically. I've recently also picked up this beauty, a black SRT 101 45mm f2. It's just a beautiful camera. Need to clean it a bit, needs a CLA. The times are a bit slow, but it's working. And I've also recently picked up this beauty here. Contax 2, model year 1937. I've got no original lens for it. I'm just using a Jupiter 8M 53 f2. Unfortunately, well, it works, but the focusing is pretty stiff. The times are completely off. I think the lower roller is broken. So I need to completely CLA this one too. But it's an amazing camera. I love it. Yeah, and that's it. So what's next for this channel? I've already got a few videos planned, and I've got ideas for tons of videos. The next few videos I'll publish are my cameras for 2025, or at least what I'm trying to focus on photography wise. I'll do a video about my collection, or most of my collection, and then I'll do specific videos to cameras I really like. This one, for example, my M2, maybe the LX, we'll see. I also want to do like a what's in my bag kind of video when I'm planning a photography trip or when I'm just going out for a walk. And I'd also like to do a field trip, take you with me, showing you the whole large format process, from loading to shooting to developing to scanning. And I'll also want to do quite a few videos on repairs, because, well, I've never sent a camera to repairman. I've always opened them up myself and repaired them myself. Yeah, most of them aren't super clean or collector's worth. I mean, check out this Contax. It looks sped up. It's a camera that got used quite a lot, and that's what I like about it, and that's how I want to keep it. I just want to keep it running, and I want to shoot with it. It's a shooter, not a shelf queen. So I want to do videos on repairs. I'll probably do a video on the Contax. I've got an X700 I need to replace the capacitors on, and I want to make general photography related tutorials, like how I'm developing black and white and color, how I'm scanning, and my bulk rolling process. I've just ordered bulk rolls of Rollei Retro 400S. That's a 120 roll, but I've tried a few in 35mm. I really like the results developed in Rodinal, so I've ordered a bulk roll of Retro 400S, and on Cinefilm I've ordered 250D 100 feet too. That should keep me busy for the year. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I think I've already talked too much. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. I'd love to hear from you and get better at this YouTube thing. It's my first video. I'm really sorry it's a bit all over the place. If you have any video ideas, tell me and I'll see what I can do. Okay, that's it from me. Go out, shoot and have fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye.